did and talk to them. And you might be surprised of the information that you can get. And just one person, stick with that person, and with that information, you can make a miracle happen.
Where's Sergio?
Sergio is with me.
Right here.
I saw you. They left the message.
Bruce Burkhardt, CNN, New York.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. I'm Paula Zahn reporting from New York this morning. You're looking at the scene where thousands of rescuers are trying to dig through rubble, sometimes with their hands, sometimes with buckets. It's a painstaking process so far. Over 13,000 tons of rubble has already been removed from this area. Lots more work to do, as you can see from this picture. If the definition is good on your TV set, the weather is much better today than it was yesterday. So workers down there are hoping the pace of this cleanup will pick up. We continue to work on all the latest developments here from very many different angles. Bill Hemmer joins me from south of here at the Jacob Javits Center. Hi, Bill. How you doing?
Doing well, Paula. Thank you.
And John King is still with us, the senior White House correspondent from Washington. Can't marvel enough about your backdrop this morning. And CNN's Maya O'Brien joins us from Atlanta. Here are the latest developments at this hour. Belgium authorities are now confirming they have charged 2 men suspected of planning attacks on American interests in Europe. Prosecutors in Brussels say the men arrested on Thursday are members of a radical Muslim group. They are charged today with possessing weapons of war. We're going to bring you more details as they become available. In other developments, one man has been arrested as a material witness in Tuesday's terrorist attacks. 2 other men detained in Texas are said to be very helpful to the investigation. Flight and voice recorders have been recovered from the Pentagon and Pennsylvania crashes. Congress authorizes the president to use force in response to Tuesday's attacks. And to that end, the Pakistani government signals it will help the U.S. in those efforts. That is what we know at this hour. Afghanistan, the ruling party of Afghanistan, issuing a statement this morning threatening any country that will assist the United States and its allies in trying to punish the perpetrators of these multiple attacks in the United States. The president is going to be holding a radio address sometime within the next 3 minutes. They're usually pretty punctual down there at 10:06. We expect to dip into that live. In the meantime, I'm going to check in with Bill Hemmer, who once again rejoins us from the Jacob Javits Center. What's going on down there now?
Paula, just to let our viewers know once again, this is one of the main staging areas for workers and volunteers to gather before they're sent several blocks south to the World Trade Center. This is what we're looking at right now. The men standing over here, primarily in white and yellow hats, are union workers, construction workers, engineers. They have been given the go-ahead to go down to the site, but they're just waiting now for FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, to go ahead and give them the go-ahead to head down further south. In the meantime, though, the volunteers, though, continue to...
I'm going to have to cut you off for a second because I want to show everybody out there some pictures of the president meeting with his national security advisors leading into his regular Saturday morning address. Let's listen.
Our country mourns for the loss of life and for those whose lives have been so deeply affected by this despicable act of terror. I'm going to describe to our leadership what I saw, the wreckage of New York City, the signs of the first battle of war. We're going to meet and deliberate and discuss, but there's no question about it. This act will not stand. We will find those who did it. We will smoke them out of their holes. We will get them running, and we'll bring them to justice. We will not only deal with those who dare attack America, we will deal with those who harbor them and feed them and house them. Make no mistake about it. Underneath our tears is the strong determination of America to win this war. And we will win it. I'm going to ask the Secretary of State to say a few things, and then the Attorney General.
Thank you, Mr. President. I might just say that I'm very pleased with the response we've been getting from the international community. I think every civilized nation in the world recognizes that this was an assault not just caused by.
All right, now we're going to quickly move on to the president giving his normally planned Saturday morning address. Let's listen.
Good morning. This weekend I am engaged in extensive sessions with members of my National Security Council as we plan a comprehensive assault on terrorism. This will be a different kind of conflict against a different kind of enemy. This is a conflict without battlefields or beachheads, a conflict with opponents who believe they are invisible, yet they are mistaken. They will be exposed, and they will discover what others in the past have learned. Those who make war against the United States have chosen their own destruction. Victory against terrorism will not take place in a single battle, but in a series of decisive actions against terrorist organizations and those who harbor and support them. We are planning a broad and sustained campaign to secure our country and eradicate the evil of terrorism, and we are determined to see this conflict through. Americans of every faith and background are committed to this goal. Yesterday, I visited the site of the destruction in New York City and saw an amazing spirit of sacrifice and patriotism and defiance. I met with rescuers who have worked past exhaustion, who cheered for our country and the great cause we have entered. In Washington, D.C., the political parties and both houses of Congress have shown a remarkable unity, and I'm deeply grateful. A terrorist attack designed to tear us apart has instead bound us together as a nation. Over the past few days, we have learned much about American courage, the courage of firefighters and police officers who suffered so great a loss, the courage of passengers aboard United 93, who may well have fought with the hijackers and saved many lives on the ground. Now we honor those who died and prepare to respond to these attacks on our nation. I will not settle for a token act. Our response must be sweeping, sustained, and effective. We have much to do and much to ask of the American people. You will be asked for your patience, for the conflict will not be short. You will be asked for resolve, for the conflict will not be easy. You will be asked for your strength, because the course to victory may be long. In the past week, we have seen the American people at their very best. Everywhere in America, citizens have come together to pray, to give blood, to fly our country's flag. Americans are coming together to share their grief and gain strength from one another. Great tragedy has come to us, and we are meeting it with the best that is in our country, with courage and concern for others, because this is America. This is who we are. This is what our enemies hate and have attacked, and this is why we will prevail. Thank you for listening.
That, of course, the president wrapping up his routine Saturday address. We're going to look at pictures of him as he met with the many of folks who have worked around the clock to try to dig through the rubble and rescue people that might be alive. We want to go back to some pictures we were showing you earlier of the president meeting with his national security advisors before this address. Let's listen again.
But we're going to get as long as it takes. And it's not just one person. We're talking about those who fed them, those who housed them, those who harbor terrorists will be held accountable for this action. And we're go ahead, sorry.
Are you satisfied that Osama bin Laden is at least a kingpin of this operation?
There is no question he is what we would call a prime suspect. And if he thinks he can hide and run from the United States and our allies, he will be sorely mistaken.
Mr. President, do you have a message for the reservists that you called up yesterday? Can you tell us whether you think more may have to be called?
My message is for everybody who wears the uniform, get ready. The United States will do what it takes to win this war. And I ask patience to the American people. There's no question in my mind we'll have the resolve. I witnessed it yesterday on the construction site. Behind the sadness and the exhaustion, there is a desire by the American people to not seek only revenge, but to win a war against barbaric behavior, people that hate freedom and hate what we stand for. And this is an administration that is going to dedicate ourselves to winning that war.
What did Pakistan say it would do to help the United States?
We put before the Pakistani government a specific list of things that we would like cooperation on, and they've agreed to all those items. I'm not prepared to announce today what those specific items are, but the Pakistani government was very forthcoming, and we're appreciative.
Mr. President, what kind of military options are you considering?
This is an administration that will not talk about how we gather intelligence, how we know what we're going to do, nor what our plans are. When we move, we will communicate with you in an appropriate manner. We're at war. There's been an act of war declared upon America by terrorists, and we will respond accordingly. And I appreciate very much the American people understanding that. As we plan, as we put our strategy into action, we will let you know when we think it's appropriate, not only for to protect the lives of our servicemen and women, but to make sure our coalition has had proper time to be noticed as well. But we're going to act.
What is the risk of additional attacks on us at this point?
I would think the American people need to be go about their business on Monday, but with a heightened sense of awareness that that a group of barbarians have declared war on the American people.
Sir,
Last question.
How much of sacrifice are ordinary Americans going to have to be expected to make in their daily lives and their daily routine?
Our hope, of course, is that they make no sacrifice whatsoever. We would like to see life return to normal in America. But these people have declared war on us. And we will do whatever it takes to make sure that we're safe internally. So therefore, flights may not, people may not be able to board flights as quickly. Our borders are tighter than they've ever been before. We're taking a variety of measures to make sure that the American people are safe, just as the Attorney General spoke about. But we hope, obviously, that the measures we take will allow the American economy to continue on. I urge people to go to their businesses on Monday. I understand Major League Baseball is going to start playing again. It is important for America to get on about its life. But our government will be on full alert, and we'll be tracing every lead, every potential, to make sure that the American people are safe.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All. Thank you very much.
How long do you envision
Thank you, Molly. Thank you. We're setting out now.
The definition is whatever it takes.
All right, as you can see, that was a meeting of the president and his national security advisors. At the last bit, obviously, the meeting was breaking down. I want to bring John King into this now, our White House correspondent who joins us from Washington. John, before we get to the substance of what the president said, I wanted to clarify something I said on the fly. The ruling Taliban government issued a warning today, a statement threatening any, and I have to make this clear, this is where the clarification comes in, that any neighboring country that allows its soil to be used to help the United States stage an attack on Afghanistan. All right, now we got that behind me. Let's move on to the substance of what the president said. John, I'm going to reprise 4 or 5 points the president made. He says we will not settle for a token attack. He said when someone referred to Osama bin Laden, no question he is a prime suspect. If he thinks he can hide from the U.S. and its allies, he will be sorely mistaken. Also referring to whoever conducted these attacks on Americans, quote, a group of barbarians have declared war on a group of people. And I think in one of the most pointed comments, he said, for anybody